Welcome back to Spelling and Word Study. My name is Mrs. Rhoades, and I'm here to get you started on Unit 6, Bonus Letters. Please take a second to gather your materials. You will need your red book open to page 41. You will also need some colorful markers, pencils, or crayons. Remember, whatever I do on the board, you should be doing on your page. Please save room for a key as well, either on this page or a separate sheet of paper. All right, so let's get started. For the last 5 weeks, we learned about short vowels. We learned that there are 5 vowels, A, E, I, O, and U, and each one has a short vowel sound, A, I, and So this week we are continuing with our focus on short vowels, but we are going to mix all of those vowels together, and then we're going to add something called bonus letters at the end. You know what a bonus is, right? When you get a little bit extra. So Dad makes you some ice cream and puts a bonus scoop on top. That's an extra scoop. So you'll notice that all of these words have an extra bonus letter at the end. There are only certain letters in our language that fill this job. So that's what we're going to think about this week. What letters show up twice at the end of a word, and what sound do they make? So let's think about that as we read our words. Bell, buzz, cuff, doll, fill, hill, kiss, miss, puff, yell. All right, good job. So as we read those words, you probably noticed that we have some short E, some short U, some short I, some short O. So we're reviewing all those vowel sounds, but now we're adding these bonus letters at the end. So let's choose a color. And I want you to notice that our first word has a double L at the end. Those 2 L's work together to make one sound. We don't pronounce that bell. That would be silly, right? It's b-e-l, bell. So those letters make one sound. L is an example of a bonus letter. We see that again at the end of doll and at the end of fill, at the end of hill, and at the end of yell. So in our key, pink box equals bonus L. We get an extra L at the end of those words. Okay, our next word ends with a double Z. The double Z is not as common in our language. We see it here in the word buzz, and then you might see it in words like fizz or jazz, but it's not that common. Green box equals bonus Z. Okay, choose another color, and we notice here we have 2 F's at the end of cuff and puff. Okay, doesn't show up very often, but you do see it in words like stuff and off. So this is a good one to know. Purple box equals bonus or extra F. And then the last one, and we see this one in a lot of words, is the double S. We see that in kiss, miss, pass. There's a lot of words that have that SS. So that's a good one to know as well. So these are the letters that are most common, most likely to show up twice at the end of a word. Every once in a while, you'll see a double T in a word like mitt, right? Like a baseball bat and a baseball mitt. But like you would never see a double B at the end of a word. You would never see a double C at the end of a word. So these are the bonus double letters that I want you thinking about this week. Okay, so for the past few weeks, we've been learning about plurals. We know that if you have one of something and you want to change it to many, that's a plural. And you do that by adding S. So you change dog to dogs, cat to cats. Sometimes instead of adding an S, you add an ES, like box to boxes, dress to dresses. And then sometimes we have words that don't follow the rules at all. They just make up a whole new word, like man changes to men, tooth changes to teeth. So those are the rule breakers that we just have to memorize. Well, we're going to take a little break from plurals today because now I want to talk to you about verbs. Verbs are action words. They are things we can do. So if we look through our list here, let's see if we can mark our verbs, our action words, like buzz. I'm going to put a V there for verb, right? Bees can buzz. Bzz. That's something they do. Fill is another verb, right? I can fill up my water bottle. Kiss is another verb, right? I kiss my mom. I kiss my baby cousin. I kiss my dog. Miss, again, I miss my mom. I miss my dog. I miss my baby cousin, right? That's describes something we do with our feelings. Puff, we could turn that into a verb, right? I puff up my cheeks like that. And then the last one is yell. That is a verb as well. So over here, we're going to write V equals verb. And a verb is an action word. Now, I want you to learn this because you're going to find out that just like there were rules with plurals, there are rules for verbs. So one thing you should know is that if you want to make it sound like you already did something, you add ed to the end. So, for instance, let me choose a new color. Now the bee buzzes. Yesterday he buzzed, ed. Now I fill my water bottle. Yesterday I filled my water bottle. Now I kiss my dog. Yesterday I kissed my dog. Do you notice that ed sounds different sometimes? Sometimes it sounds like a D in buzzed, and sometimes it sounds like a T in kissed. Doesn't matter. It's always ed. I missed my mom. I puffed my cheeks. I yelled because the water was too hot. Okay? What I've done here is I've changed each of these verbs to the past tense. I'm describing something that already happened by adding ed. You're going to get more practice with that when you turn your book to page 44. There's a whole bunch of words that you're going to add ed to. But then on the next page, when you try to make the past tense of these words, you're going to find out that they're rule breakers. Just like man and men are rule breakers, tooth and teeth are rule breakers. We have a whole bunch of rule breakers when we talk about verbs. For instance, now I hide my candy. You wouldn't say, yesterday I hided my candy. You would say, I hid my candy. Now I run for the bus. You wouldn't say, yesterday I runned for the bus. You'd say, I ran. These are rule breakers. They don't follow the ED rule. When you get to page 45, you're going to find a whole bunch of rule breakers to practice. All right, before I let you go, let's make sure we know what our words mean. So the first one is bell. I bet you've all seen a bell before, right? You can ring a bell and it goes ding, 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 ding. We talked about buzz. That's something a bee does. Cuff would be the part of your sleeve that wraps around your wrist. So if you think about a man's shirt, like a dress shirt with a collar and button down, here's his hand. This right here is the cuff. Sometimes the cuff has a button to keep it closed. I bet you know what a doll is. You know what it means to fill something. You know what a hill is, right? Maybe you've been sledding down a hill. Maybe you've rolled down a hill. I bet you know what kiss means. And miss could be a feeling like I really miss my grandma. I want to call her. Or it could mean like, oops, I missed 3 questions on my math test. Puff could be like a puff of smoke or a puff of air, or you can puff up your cheeks by filling them with air. And then yell, yell, you know what that means. All right, so that's all I have for you. Good luck, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.